एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद शिला अभयाचरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत गौरी वैष्णविंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरे हरे। Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we'll be reading from Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Status Quo. Chapter 15, the descriptions of the kingdom of God. Text number 48. Today is Dwadasi as well, so have a good feast. Today we'll finish by 8:30 because there's Maha cleaning. So we have to finish by 8:30. Yep. We'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpataru Vascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtabrayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Jai. Text 48. Natyantikam viganayantyapite prasadam. Tikam viganayantyapite prasadam. Kim vanyadarpita bhayam bhruva unnayaste. Kim anyadarpita bhayam bhruva unnayaste. Yengatvad anghi, sorry, angnir. Ye ang Yengatvadanghir sharana bhavat kathaya. Yengatvadanghir Kirtanya tirtha yashashash kushala rasagna. Kirtanya tirtha yashas kushala rasagna. Natyantikam viganayantyapite prasadam. Yantikam viganayantyapite prasadam. Kim vanyadarpita bhayam bhruva unnayaiste. Pita bhayam bhruva unnayas yengatvad angnir sharana bhavat kathaya. Yengatvad angnir bhavat kathaya. Kirtanya tirtha yashashash kushala rasagna. Tirtha yashashash kushala rasagna. Vaishnavas. Sharana bhavat kathaya. Kirtantya tirtha yashashas kushala rasagna. Natyantikam viganayanti apite prasadam. Kim anyad arpita bhayam bhruva unnayaste. Yengatvad angri sharana bhavat kathaya. Kirtantya tirtha yashashas kushala rasagna. Natyantikam viganayanti apite prasadam. Kim anyadarpitam bhayam bhruva unnayase. Evangeladam prasadam. Kirtantya tirtha yashashas kushala rasagna. Word for word, na, not. Atyantikam, liberation. Viganayanti, care for. Api, even. Te, those. Prasadam, benedictions. Kim, you. What to speak. Anya, other material happiness. Arpita, given. Bhayam, fearfulness. Bhruvaha, of the eyebrows. Unnaye, by the raising. Te, your. Ye, those devotees. Anga, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tva, your. Angri, lotus feet, Sharana, who have taken shelter, Bhavata, your, Kathaya, narrations, Kirtanya, worth chanting, Tirtha, pure, Yashashash, glories, Kushala, very expert, Rasagna, knower of the mellows or humors. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Persons who are very expert and most intelligent in understanding things as they are engage in hearing narrations of the auspicious activities and pastimes of the Lord, which are worth chanting and worth hearing. Such persons do not care even for the highest material benediction, namely liberation, to say nothing of other less important benediction like the material happiness of the heavenly kingdoms. Purport. The transcendental bliss enjoyed by the devotees of the Lord is completely different from the material happiness enjoyed by less intelligent persons. The less intelligent persons in the material world are engaged by the four principles of benediction called dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Generally, they prefer to take to religious life to achieve some material benediction, the purpose of which is to satisfy the senses. When, by that process, they become confused or frustrated in fulfilling the maximum amount of sense enjoyment, they try to become one with the Supreme, which is, according to their conception, mukti or liberation. There are 5 kinds of liberation, the least important of which is called sayujya, to become one with the Supreme. Devotees don't care for such liberation because they are actually intelligent, nor are they inclined to accept any of the other 4 kinds of liberation, namely to live on the same planet as the Lord, to live with Him side by side as an associate, to have the same opulence, and to attain the same bodily features. They are concerned only with glorifying the Supreme Lord and His auspicious activities. Pure devotional service is Shravana Kirtana. Pure devotees who take transcendental pleasure in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord do not care for any kind of liberation, even if they are offered the 5 liberations. They refuse to accept them as stated in the Bhagavatam in the 3rd canto. Materialistic persons aspire for the sense enjoyment of heavenly pleasure in the heavenly kingdoms. But devotees reject such material pleasures at once. The devotee does not even care for the post of Indra. A devotee knows that any pleasurable material position is subject to be annihilated at a certain point. Even if one reaches the post of Indra, Chandra or any other demigod, he must be dissolved at a certain stage. A devotee is never interested in such temporary pleasure. From Vedic scriptures, it is understood that sometimes even Brahma and Indra fall down. But a devotee in the transcendental abode of the Lord never falls. This transcendental stage of life, in which one feels transcendental pleasure in hearing the Lord's pastimes, is also recommended by Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya was talking with Ramananda Rai, there were varieties of suggestions offered by Ramananda regarding spiritual realization. But Lord Chaitanya rejected all but one, that one should hear the glories of the Lord in association with pure devotees. This is acceptable for everyone, especially in this age. One should engage himself in hearing from pure devotees about the activities of the Lord. That is considered the supreme benediction for mankind. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Fired up. So here is very interesting how all of this is all attached with nectar of devotion. You know, this whole Leela of 4 Kumaras meeting Lord Vishnu. When you read nectar of devotion, you get to see how all of them conjoin. So I think we were discussing this, that nectar of devotion, when it describes pure devotion, it gives 6 qualities, right? It says that the first quality is, Kleshagni. Kleshagni, Subhada, then Moksha Lagutakrit, Sudurlabha, then Sandrananda Visheshatma, and Sri Krishna Karshini. So these are 6 qualities of devotion, right? Of pure devotion. Now what you will see that these 6 qualities are being described here. Maharaj was giving the talk yesterday on text number 47. And he was talking about the rarity of taking to devotion. Right? He was talking about how the impersonalists, they observe the material world and how they look at spirituality. So he was giving the vision of the material, of the impersonalist. And he was also talking about the rarity of taking devotional service. So this term in these definitions of pure devotion is called Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means it's rare. It's Sudurlabha. Durlabha means rare. Right? Sudurlabha means extremely rare. Right? So, labha means to get. Okay? Durlabha means didn't get. Sudurlabha means very hard to get. Right? So, Krishna also uses this term, Sudurlabha, for Mahatmas. He says that Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha in Bhagavad Gita. Right? He's saying a person who fully understands Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such a person is Sudurlabha. So here we are also talking about devotional service is Sudurlabha. It is rare. Now one may be thinking, how come it's rare? How come I got it? Right? It's rare, right? It's rare. How come I got it? Now the funny thing is, although it is rare, because you have it, we lose its value. I have it. So what's so hard about it? Isn't it? So that's how mind starts thinking. But pure devotees always understand the Sudurlabha nature of devotional service. The four Kumaras, they are appreciating this is very, very rare. They are saying that only by your mercy, in text 47, that do you get this. Now here in 48, so that they were talking about Sudurlabha. Here they are talking about two interesting qualities. Right? And it is broken into the two parts of the shloka. The first part of the shloka talks about moksha lagutakrit. That not interested in moksha. There are ones who become pure devotees are not interested in liberation. Right? So this is moksha lagutakrit. Natyantikam vigana yanti apite prasadam kim anyad arpita bhayam bhruva unnayeste. That they don't care now for this liberation. And Srila Prabhupada so beautifully writes this here, right? He talks about how great personalities like, Brahma and Indra, they were in great positions and they fell down. Right? We just read here about Brahma's fall down where, he looked at his daughter and he thought, okay, I should marry her. Vak, right? Saraswati. So we see that. And then Indra, of course, there will be many descriptions about Indra's fall down in Bhagavatam. There is, him messing around with Prithu Maharaj, him with Vritasura, insulting his guru, then, him trying to mess with Krishna. So there will be many, this is not just one or two, there are many such examples coming, right? So you'll see many fall downs of these great personalities. Srila Prabhupada takes this as an example that when one gets liberation, one doesn't stay liberated. That's the point. You may get liberation. Will you stay liberated is the main point. Right? Now, to stay liberated means you must have qualities equal to the liberated platform. Right? So, for example, let's imagine, right? We all enter, the Tiffany's or, Versace showroom. All of us, 4 of us, we are here. We enter the Versace showroom. Okay? People will allow us to enter. Okay, you want to enter? You can enter. Then as we are walking and looking around, we are seeing, these purses cost, or, the jewelry cost, $10,000, $20,000. So now, you are in the shop to shop. Correct? So you're a shopper. You're in the shop to shop. And then we realize the cost of the things there. The cost. And we don't have the ability to pay that cost. Right? None of us, 4 of us don't have the ability to pay that cost. So then we are thinking, okay, we will go on and we will keep loitering around the showroom. At some point in this, ordeal, right? The store people will come and say, sir, would you like to leave? In this ordeal, as we are going around in the shop, looking and thinking, I can't afford anything. We'll be asked, would you like to leave? Right? Of course, first, hopefully we are dressed well, so they will allow us to enter. So that's the first thing. You have to be dressed well. Then you can enter. Then, to stay there, you have to do something. Right? So, the point here being made, you may be given liberation. Can you stay liberated? Right? That's the problem. And that is why devotees reject this position. Because for one to stay liberated, you have to have the ability. Are you understanding? You have to be able to afford the stuff in the shop. You have to have that money. Is that making sense? You have to have it. Now, if you don't have the money, you will be ejected. or if you don't have the ability to deal in that. Imagine we enter the Versace and all these Tiffany showrooms, and we are eating these cheese cones, and cheese is falling on the floor. They have shiny marble floors, crystal clear glasses, and we are dripping stuff there. They'll kick us out because they're saying you're not even qualified. So one is having the quality, second is having the quantity. In both of these circumstances, you can stay liberated. It is not enough just to have the quality. You must have the quantity as well. Does that make sense? Both you must have. Now a devotee, how does he approach this mathematics? First, Srila Prabhupada encourages all of us to generate the qualities of being a devotee. Right? So you generate your qualities. By engaging in devotional service, Krishna will grind the diamond. Grinding the diamond. Diamond gets grinded until it becomes shiny. So first Krishna will grind the diamond. And after he has grinded the diamond, okay, so quality is there. Now you enter into the spiritual realm. Where do you get the quantity from? How do you get the quantity? Think. By being with the one who is the most quantified. Are you understanding how you get? Now, same scenario, 4 of us enter. Okay, the shop. And they say, sir, do you want to leave? Oh, no. We have the platinum credit card. Oh, they're like, oh, stay as long as you want. Are you noticing the difference? Same scenario, nothing changed, right? Nothing changed. We had the same 4 foolish people. Same 4, no different. But now we have the quantity. Not only do you have the quality, but now you have the quantity. Are you noticing this concept? Such an interesting concept, isn't it? Now with the quality and the quantity, you can engage in devotional service. Right? So this quantity, having this quantity. So the first part we are talking about moksha lagutakrit, meaning having the quality. The quality is, I'm not interested in liberation. Why? Because in a liberated state, I don't have the quantity to stay in that state. I don't have the quantity to stay there. Okay, I may have the quality, but not the quantity. Right? So, what does a devotee do? Yenga tvad anghir sharana bhavat kathaya kirtanya tirtha yashasha kushala rasagna. So, what does he do? Kathaya and kirtanya. This is your credit card. Right? Unlimited credit. Why? Because Krishna is unlimited. Akhila rasamritam murti. Okay? Rasa vigraha. This is Krishna. He is unlimited. So if you are doing katha and kirtana, you have the credit card. This is your credit. Are you getting what is your credit? That credit is all Krishna's. It's all Krishna's. Srila Prabhupada is explaining to the new devotees. This is in Prabhupada Lilamrita. He's talking about the very first initiation when they do. Right? This is Mukunda Goswami Maharaj is writing in his book. If you ever get a chance, read Miracle in the Second Avenue. Beautiful book. Amazing. Very well written. Right? So there, anyway, he's describing, how Srila Prabhupada's first initiation, he's saying that one has to treat the spiritual master as God. Does that make sense? You have to treat the spiritual master as God. Now, Mukunda Goswami and all, they were talking, he said, but Mara, Swamiji, at that time, Prabhupada was called Swamiji, right? Swamiji was saying that anyone who calls himself God is a fool. Anyone who calls himself God is a fool. Right? So they were thinking this. Swamiji said this. But here he is saying, treat the Guru as God. So how do you reconcile this? Sakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Shastre. You do your morning prayers. Sakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Shastre. So how do you reconcile this? You have to reconcile this, right? One moment we are saying no one can be equal to God, Krishna is supreme. At this second time you're reading this and thinking, what's going on? So this doubt came even in their mind. Mukunda Goswami Maharaj writes, right? And in Lilamrita also is very nicely described. Right? So they had the same doubt. Right? And when you reconcile this, you understand that actually all the glory belongs to Krishna. The credit card belongs to Krishna. Are you getting? The credit card belongs. So if we get the credit card, the platinum credit, and we start buying in Versace, how do they treat us? How are we treated? As kings. Oh, sir, would you like to buy something else? What about this? What about that? You see, you're being treated. Right? But what is the actual glory of that treatment? That platinum credit card. Are you noticing? Now imagine that credit card goes, declined. You're like, oh! Immediately you will see a change in their demeanor. It's instant. Nowadays all transactions happen instantly. So, declined. You can see even in shops, right? Even in a small shop. If you go to, across the street, you go to the shop. And if you tap your card and it declines, immediately the shopkeeper looks at you. In a small market here, the small shop across the road, if you tap and it declines, like, huh? What is this? In these big, massive stores, if it declines, imagine the change of demeanor. Right? That is what we are discussing here. So the devotee, he knows that if I have this credit card, right, that glory and everything that is happening is for Hari. It's for Krishna. Yeah? We have many more points to discuss, but we have reached 8:30. We have to stop because today is Mahakleaning, right? But these are beautiful shlokas. You will see so much of nectar of devotion in this. And having this unlimited credit card is called Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandra means thick. Sandra. Thick. Ananda, bliss. So Sandrananda. Sandra and Ananda. Sandrananda. A thick ecstasy. Thick. Credit card is very thick. Very thick. Visheshatma, very rare so. Right? So this is then that quality we were discussing. So first part is about Moksha Lagatakrit, second part is about Sandrananda Visheshatma. But this is all the time we have today. So we will end here. Right? We will not be able to take any questions, but this is something to meditate on. Right? That we can understand from Srimad Bhagavatam these wonderful points. Right? So Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavrind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.